guys, my name is Rose. I am your positive, energetic, enthusiastic streamer, and my goal every single day is to give you guys your daily dose of rosamine. So today, we're going to be watching the 2024 Game Awards announcement highlights, and I'm going to give you my review on it. And yeah, let's see how it goes. Oh my god, dude, I literally... Okay, let's get started, guys. I haven't watched this yet, by the way. This is actually brand new to me. I have not watched it yet, so let's see how it goes, okay? Mortismal Gaming!
What's going on, everybody? Boredom here, this time bringing you the announcement highlights from last night's The Game Awards, which encompassed an almost 4-hour show. So naturally, we're not
watching all that 4 hours.
Focus on the important bits, at least for the channel, as whether or not you like
this
the
is
show
honestly
doesn't really change
perfect.
the fact that it is definitely the biggest announcement
Ooh,
showcase
I love his
of the
hair.
year at this point. Though I will
it's
say,
a girl.
as for the quality of
I
it,
love her
for
hair.
the most part, I'd say it was decent. They clearly responded to some feedback they've gotten in recent years. They took some time to actually talk about all the layoffs in the industry, and even managed to
do you guys know what game this is?
A little bit. So while it is definitely still more of an ad showcase than it is an award show,
okay, her hair is amazing.
Taking a precious little time of that 4 hours, I will say that it is better than a lot of what they've done in the past.
Who's she fighting,
ultimately,
guys?
Game of the Year actually went to Astrobot, which I have to say is a little bit
Astrobot?
surprising, but I know a lot of people love that game, so more power
I actually
to them. Truth be told,
know
I
what Astrobot
would
is.
take it myself, but that's not what we're here for. Let's get into some of these highlights. As always, worth a mention that I'm not covering every single game that was mentioned.
Wait,
There's
is
a lot of stuff
Astrobot
for,
literally the
mobile
top right
games,
now?
etc., that are of no interest to me at all. As
Wait, I
a
wanna search that
simple,
up.
easy example. Kicking it off right away with a trailer for Shadow of the Road, which is an upcoming samurai
Isn't Astrobot like a very
CRPG
cute
published by
PS5
Alchemac
game?
Games, which received a short trailer showcasing some of the yokai and
Shadow
enemies
of the
that we'll be facing
Road?
in that
Wait,
game. I love
this looks
CRPGs,
really
looking forward
cool.
to that one. Still a little early days, though. Not much more information to go
This
on.
looks like it's
then we
in
have a
Japan.
DLC that was announced for Dave the Diver, a very popular game. The DLC is set for, I believe, late 2025.
Wait, Dave the Diver?
And looks to be jungle themed. Following quickly on from that, though, we have the
Wait,
announcement
I've seen
of
somebody
Thick as
play
Thieves.
this.
This seems to be like a co-op extraction
Dave the Diver.
type
I think
thing,
I've
but
seen
where
somebody play
everyone is
that.
a thief, and your goal is to steal something and then get away with it in competition with several other
you're a
people playing as
thief?
thieves. At least that was the gist. I
Okay, well,
got.
the craziest
No word
thing
on
is that,
any
like,
dates or
I
anything like that. This was
have
just
never
an
played any of
announcement,
these
so
games.
It looks like it might be a little early days there still. Then there was the
shocked.
announcement of Midnight Murder Club.
Except for Dave the Diver. I've seen that one.
That seems to play around a lot with light. Most of the mansion in which the
this
game
would
takes
be
place is pitch black, but you have a
scary.
flashlight and a revolver. A lot of rounds seem to be utilizing tracers. So light and
wait, that's
location
really
plays
cool.
into a lot of
I would
this.
get
What it
lost.
looks like they will be
100%.
having a
I will
planned
literally
release of
not survive this
February
game ever.
2025,
I
so
will
shouldn't
literally
have to
get
wait
lost.
too long to play that one. This looks like a fun game to play with family and friends, which is why I mentioned it. Looks like the kind of thing me and my brothers would
this
get
is
a
kinda
kick
like-
out of specifically.
It
But
kinda
following on
reminds me
from
of
that,
Phasmo.
a very exciting and unexpected announcement for this channel was Solasta
Midnight
2.
Murder
So
Club.
Solasta was a fantastic CRPG that focused very heavily on 5th edition rules.
Wait,
as
that's
written,
so
but
cool,
translated to a
actually.
video game.
It
In
kinda
terms
looks
of
like
raw,
Lava
Solasta
Groot.
did a very, very good job.
Whoa.
So I was excited to see that Solasta 2 here was announced, and it looks like they put a lot of effort into cleaning up the graphics specifically, but they're still using the 5th edition SRDs. But I think if they cleaned up a lot of what was kind of awkward about Solasta, then
pretty.
Solasta 2 has the potential to be a really great
Solasta
game. I'm
kind
actually
of
really looking
reminds
forward to
me
covering
of,
that
like,
one. I enjoyed the DLC they put out for the first game especially,
Baldur's Gate?
and it looks like that is going to be
I don't
hitting
know.
early access in 2025, so definitely expect that from me next year. But then probably the
I haven't
biggest
played this game yet,
announcement of
though.
the entire night, I would say, which is The Witcher 4.
The Witcher
We got a trailer for this,
4!
no dates or anything like that, but basically we see Ciri in her role as a Witcher that she has stepped into. It looks like she's the protagonist.
Didn't they
of
make
this
a show
one,
out of
but
this?
That's not really a surprise at all. If you played The Witcher 3 and actually finished it, that's like one of the biggest endings you can get.
I heard The Witcher is
Ciri
really,
taking
really
up the Witcher's
good.
path. So I'm cool with it. The trailer looked awesome. But I will say, I do have at least one question that could certainly be explained away at some point. But we actually see Ciri with the
But I heard it's really
trademark
hard,
Witcher
too.
cat eyes here, which is not what she was in the third game at all. She was able to keep up because she trained with
Whoa.
Witchers, yes, but most of that was because of her elder blood and not because she took the mutations that would have given her those cat eyes. So while it's not
that's
impossible for
pretty
them
cool.
to write for that, it is something I hope they don't hand wave away and they actually take the time to explain. But otherwise, I'm completely on board. It looks cool. Following on from
really
that,
cool.
though, we had I would say, very odd announcement with Elden Ring and Night Ring,
Elden
which
Ring,
is
of
described
course.
as a standalone adventure in the Elden Ring
I've
universe.
heard about Elden Ring. A lot of people
survival
love
action
Elden Ring,
thing with,
actually.
like,
I can see
three-player
this. I can
co-op.
see
And I
that.
gotta
It's
be
a part of
honest
the
with
Game
you,
Awards.
if this didn't have FromSoft's
Awards. I
name
keep saying
attached
Game
to
Awards.
it, I would say it looks like a cash
I meant
grab.
Game
I'm
Awards.
going to give them the benefit of the doubt here because Elden Ring was great. From Software has put out games that, even though they didn't interest me initially, wound up being really cool, like Armored Core. So I'll be honest, at a cursory glance,
pretty
this
cool.
does not look good to me, but I'm willing to give it a try. Gonna have to see how that pans out on that one, though, for sure. Then we had the quick announcement that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth will be coming to PC on January 23rd, right around the corner, which is yet another reason I need to get around to checking out the original remake that they made. And
all right, guys.
Rebirth. I heard Rebirth was great. A lot of people really enjoyed it, but this is a PC channel, so until that stuff hits PC, I
Wait,
don't
this is the
usually
PC?
bother. So hopefully
I
I'll
am
be able to make
so
some time
excited for
it
this,
now.
actually.
And then we got the
Oh my
showcase
God.
for the Outer
I did
Worlds
play the
2
Final
from Obsidian,
Fantasy
because releasing Avowed
7
in February
remake,
wasn't enough. They're
just a
also
part of
going
it,
to be
and it was
releasing
really
this
good.
game in late 2025, doubling up for the year, and the Outer Worlds 2, of course, being the sequel to the Outer Worlds, but bigger.
I've never heard
and
of this
better.
one.
It has a lot of the trademark humor from the Outer Worlds, and it looks like they really just tried to
Wait,
expand
this
on that
reminds
first game a
me
lot and really
of the
flesh it
actual
out.
show.
And as a little nod to my own review of the game,
Pudding says still
when I
waiting
initially
on
reviewed the original Outer
Xenogears
Worlds, I mentioned that you
remaster.
couldn't
Oh
throw
my
grenades,
God.
but they gave
Wait,
you
that'd
a
be
grenade
awesome,
launcher. I thought that was
actually.
funny, and they actually went out of their way to show
They
you
should
that you
do a
could throw
remaster for
grenades in
it.
this one. So that was nice to see. Again, looking forward to it. I know opinions are split on the Outer
That's
Worlds,
pretty
but I
cool.
mean, that game was received very well.
I literally
enjoyed it a lot,
have not
and while
played
it,
that yet.
Certainly wasn't Fallout
There's
New
so many
Vegas,
games I haven't
it was a
played that
lot
are
of
really
fun.
popular.
So we'll see what
and
they
that
manage
have
to
won
do with it.
awards.
Then there was the announcement of Split Fiction from the developers behind It Takes Two. You will be once again involved in a sort of co-op adventure here where you take two people through some just craziness, honestly. And it looks
Wait.
like they're shooting for March with this one, so we don't have to wait too much longer for this one either. But I did want to mention something
kinda
I
like
thought was
chained
really
together.
cool. You only have to buy one copy of this game, and then somebody can just play it with you. So even though it is like a co-op thing, you only have to buy that one copy to actually get the experience, which is obviously good in a game like this. But
He
I know a
just
lot of
shoved her
people
in
love
there.
It Takes Two,
That's
and this
crazy.
looks pretty neat for what it is, but not sure I'd ever manage to get through it with the co-op. Next up, though, we had the announcement of Killing Floor 3 coming March 2025.
I don't know what that one is.
And also has a current closed beta. I know a lot of people love Killing Floor, so I wanted to mention that one. Probably
kinda
not something I'll
reminds
play
me of,
personally,
like,
but still.
Warframe.
And then there was Steel Hunters, which looked like an almost Transformer-esque
What?
video game where you'll be battling these
how come I've
giant
never heard
mechs,
of these?
which looked like a lot of fun. And from what I
I've not
understand,
heard
they
of
have
any of
a
these games.
current,
All the popular
beta that's
games,
going
I feel
on
like-
December 12th through the 22nd.
Which, wait,
So
is
if you
League
go
of
to their
Legends on
website, you
here?
might be able
Is
to
any
join the
Riot
PC
games
beta
on
for that
here?
if you're interested. Next up, we had the announcement of Black Frost, The Long Dark 2, the sequel, of course, to The Long Dark, which is a survival game.
Survival
that was
game?
well
Oh God,
loved.
I would not
Love the art
survive.
style on this one. Thought that looked really cool. I will probably check this out at least
Ooh,
a
I
little
do
bit
like the art
because it comes to
style.
early
It's actually
access
really
all
cool.
the way in 2026.
It looks
so
like
looks
a
we're
picture
pretty
book.
early on the announcement of this one.
I
but
love the art
when it
for this,
drops, I
actually.
think
It's
I'll
really
definitely be
cool.
checking that one out. Looks pretty cool. Surprised they announced it so far away from the planned early access, though. Then we have some Borderlands 4
I've heard of
information.
Borderlands!
Mostly just that it was
I
there.
think I played a
don't
little
know,
bit of
something about
Borderlands before,
4 just
actually.
does not look good to me. So they initially announced this a ways back, like right after that movie flopped, and they clearly kind of coincided the announcement with that movie, and it did not go over well because the movie didn't go over well. And I didn't really get the impression the mood has changed here much. I'm sure it'll be fine, but we will certainly see what happens. Following on from
Okay, the
that,
graphics
we have
aren't that bad here.
Splitgate, a multiplayer
But I did-
FPS title that kind of looks like
Oh,
it took
what the heck?
inspiration from Portal,
Is
as
this
you
a
essentially have the Portal
Borderlands
mechanic,
version-
but now you
version
get to
of
co-op shooter your way through that,
Valorant?
which honestly seems like a pretty fun time. I think Portal, but co-op shooter
Valorant,
is not the
Overwatch?
worst idea I've ever heard. So fair play. And then RGG, the Yakuza dev, announced two different games, actually, Virtua Fighter and then Project Century. of these two, Project Century was especially
never heard of
interesting
them.
to me because I initially thought this was like a Yakuza game, but like set way in the
Wait,
past.
it's set in
at least
1915?
comparatively,
Okay,
mind
wait,
you. But
this
it turns
is
out
actually
their
kinda
own,
cool.
Like,
Wait, I
separate
would
title
love to
called,
play
again,
this.
Project Century. This looks
I
really
love
cool to me
anything,
at a
like,
glance,
I
so I'm
love
excited
Japanese
to see what they
culture, so-
announced more of there.
I think
Didn't
that's
see
pretty
any
cool.
dates or anything associated with that one. And then kind of very unexpectedly, I would say, following on from that, we
I would
have
love
the
that.
announcement of
I would
Turok
love that,
Origins.
actually. That's
And
awesome.
This was really cool to me because I used to
Is this-
play
is this like
Turok in
dinosaurs?
general at a friend's house when I'd go over to like visit
Whoa,
when I
that
was
looks painful.
quite young. I haven't heard from
No.
Turok in quite some time. So the announcement of a game in that series is of interest to me. I mean, no idea if it'll actually be good because in general I don't really play that
Is this
kind
kind
of
of
game
like-
much anymore. But it was kind of funny watching the trailer because when they
Wait, he
showed like, the
transforms?
ancient pyramid
What is this?
and the dense jungle
Wait,
as well
Turok?
as like
Turok?
the hatchet and the suits and everything and then the dinosaurs.
okay,
I was
right?
Like, this
That's
looks
not
a
it.
lot like
Oh, it is Turok!
And yeah,
Okay,
sure
okay, it
enough,
is
they were
Turok.
bringing it back. No dates or
Is it
anything
kinda like
associated with
the
that one. It's
Avatar
available.
kind
It's
of
a wish
vibes?
list and it'll be coming
like
sometime in
Jurassic
the future. Happy
Park?
to see it though. I'll probably wind up
That's
taking
what
a
I
look
kinda
at that
see
at
from it.
least
It's like-
in
it's like-
passing.
it's
Moving
like
right
Avatar
along, though,
plus
we then
Jurassic
got
Park.
a trailer for the first Berserker, a game that's been announced for a while but is supposed to be releasing
Guys, I
in
love
March
the
of
word
next
Berserker,
year, so
okay?
about
Like,
time for
that
them to
has
start
been the
ramping up
original
marketing, as you
gamer
might
word
imagine.
ever,
This trailer was
and it's
especially
a
brutal
sick
though,
word.
and this game looks like it's
Berserker.
shaping up to be a pretty brutal
He looks like
action
Yasuo.
adventure. So I play a lot of these types of games. Looks fun to me, but we'll see if it manages to actually set itself apart from the crowd on that particular
Wait, the
front.
graphics
Either way,
are
we have to
actually
wait
pretty
long for it.
cool.
Then we had a very cool announcement for Onimusha,
Like the
Way
animation
of
and
the
everything.
Sword. I haven't really seen a game in this series since I was very young, and I would watch my older brothers play one of them at
Animusha?
one point. So that looks like a fun jumping on point for me at least, though this Way of the Sword entry is not set until 2026. We got a ways off for that one. Maybe I'll have
2026?
the
That's
time
so
to catch up
long.
on some of the others before then. But cool to see it. Dying Light, the
But
Beast
you know
got
what?
some more
Like, I'm
information. It's
forever a
apparently
gamer,
coming
so I'll be
summer
playing video games
2025,
forever.
and if you'll remember, this one
No
puts us
one can
back in the
stop
role
me,
of
all right?
Kyle
No one
Crane,
can
and
stop
to
me.
be honest with you, looks
the
a
heck is
little
this?
more like what I wanted from Dying Light 2 than
It kinda
Dying
looks
Light
like
2. The
like-
melee combat looks brutal
kind
again.
of
They made
Picasso?
a big show of
What
how
in the
Night would be
Picasso?
much more dangerous. It carries on with the story
that looks
much
creepy,
more directly.
dude. That looks
So,
like my
again,
backyard.
this just looks more like in line with
Oh
what
my
I wanted
God!
from Dying Light 2, which wound up being a bit
But
disappointing.
zombies!
So,
I love
nice to
zombies, but
see
that's
for
cool.
Sure.
Okay, is that a
and then
zombie
a game
game?
that did not look initially very interesting to me,
Oh.
but wound up being at least on my radar for sure. And this was Game of Thrones King's Road.
Game of
Looks to be
Thrones has a
pretty brutal
game?
action game set in, of course, the
my
Game of Thrones
God.
universe. Supposed to be coming sometime in 2025.
Wait, it's coming
The
out
trailer
next
got me
year.
interested, but we'll see if it actually
Wait, there's a
manages
Game
to
of Thrones
materialize as anything
game.
of note. As
I think
I've
that would be
noticed
so
with
sick,
Game
actually.
of Thrones stuff, it tends to be pretty hit or miss. Nearing the end, however, we then had a, I would say, follow-up to the announcement
Oh my
of
God,
Mafia,
oh my
the
God, I
Old
hate her.
Country, of course, the next entry in the Mafia franchise.
You guys
This
already
one
know
set
the
in
Walk of
1900
Shame.
Sicily,
Oh wait,
around
I don't
the
want to. I don't want
origins of the Mafia, of
spoil it for
course.
anyone.
This looks honestly really cool to me. I haven't really ever covered it on the
Dude, the
channel,
Walk of
but
Shame
I
was
did enjoy
crazy,
Mafia
though.
3
If
quite
you guys
a bit. Never
remember
really
that.
played the first two, but I'm definitely on board for it. It's
Wait, what
apparently
game is it?
releasing
Wait, is
in
that-
summer of 2025.
Why does that remind me of The Ring?
that's
I'm
probably
so
another
scared of
game I will
wells.
review next
Every time I
year
see a
as
well, I
Third
like
from the
freak
bottom,
out.
However, we
Like, I
then
don't
have
care
some
if
more
it's if
information
there's
on
good
Crimson
water or
Desert,
clean water
which
in there. I'm
continues to
freaked
look
out
incredible
of
every time they
wells.
show
Like,
it.
I hate
Looks
wells.
like they're aiming for late 2025 on this one. I was already very interested in this
Whoa.
beforehand.
Okay, this is kinda
This is
cool.
just yet
Wait,
another
this
bit of
reminds
that
me of,
game that looks fantastic.
a show.
The level of detail, the animations, the whole nine. Excited to actually get my hands on that one. I would say one of my more anticipated titles for next year.
Because like there's
to
a
be
show where like
sure.
people
Second
you have to
last,
travel
we
to
then have
space
the
to
announcement
live
of
in
an
paradise,
Okami
right? It's like a
sequel. I would
paradise
say Okami was
spaceship,
never
a
really
huge
my
spaceship,
thing. I know a
basically.
lot of people were
But then
pretty
everybody who
into
stays
it,
on
but
Earth,
it kind of just
like,
went by me, to be honest. They
can't
didn't show too much
afford,
here, more than just
basically,
the announcement that it was being made, I
the
suppose. So time will tell on
expensive
that one. Thought it was
spaceship.
neat, though.
I forgot
And then
what
that
show
brings
it's
us to
called,
the
but, like,
final big
that's a
announcement
story.
that they made a big showing of, and this is a title called Intergalactic
Whoa.
from Naughty Dog.
Naughty
their
Dog?
new original IP.
Dude, okay,
Gotta
Naughty
be
Dog.
honest with you,
I
this one
have
did
not
look like it was
seen
for me.
Naughty Dog
It
in
honestly
so long,
just
ever
looks
since
like
Jack and
a
Daxter.
mashup of just too many things.
So, okay,
It's like 80s
okay,
cyberpunk
I'm actually
type
excited
stuff.
for
There's
this.
clearly like a big space element. with this whole like retro futuristic
I like
thing,
Naughty
but at the
Dog.
same
I actually
time, the
love
ship
their
you're flying is
games.
just
Okay, I
using
played
the
Jack and
name
Daxter.
Porsche, and then they actually
Oh,
show
this
a
is so
tiny bit of
cool.
combat
What?
at the end, or at least I assume it's gameplay,
Wait
where
a
you're fighting
minute.
some robot thing, and that looks decent enough. But personally, I'm not sold on this one. I would have to see
He's
a
not
lot more
sold?
until I
I'm
was on board
sold.
with it. It might turn out to be really fun.
I don't know.
but
I'm
this
pretty
trailer
sold.
just wasn't for me. But
This
that
is
is
really
pretty much
cool.
everything
Dude, I would
of
play
note
this.
that
I
I
would
saw
play this.
during this 4-hour
But yeah, I
show,
played
though
Jack
it
and
was a very
Daxter,
extensive show, and
Jack
there were
X.
plenty of games
I also played
mentioned that I
Jack
did
3,
not
Jack
cover,
2.
mostly mobile game stuff, and then just
Yeah,
little titles
I
that
love
lent to the interest.
PlayStation.
But naturally,
I'm
if you
a
want to talk
PlayStation
about any
girly.
of that, by all means, drop it down in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about
Dude, that
these
is
titles
so
and more, which of
cool.
course means to like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube jazz. But regardless of any of that, truly, just thank you so much for watching. I really do
Dude,
appreciate
okay,
it. May you wander
that was
in
all
wisdom
very
and
awesome.
have
I would
an
say
amazing day.
most of the games, like I have no idea what they are, but like there's some of them that I'm really excited for. So that's actually super duper cool. Dude, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you guys so much for being here for my review of the announcement highlights for the Game Awards of 2024. Thank you guys.